Morning guys, it's Zippy here at the Wicked Squirrel Urban Research Farm, and this is a quick video on how to shape the earth, how to actually do this. Real basic, real simple. So if you look here, I have a piece of land with a really good slope. We're going to do this in miniature. And I have here a level. This can be done at any size. So the way that I did this when I made my beds was to go along and mark a line on contour. That just means a level line. So what I do in the area where I want to make my bed here is I'm picking the top edge of my bed here, so I want my bed down here. So I want my bed below where I have the level, so I'm just moving the level back and forth. I'm pivoting it until on the ground until I find where it's level. Now when I find that spot, I just mark that with some pieces of wood, that line. You can stick pieces of wood into the ground or lay them on the ground, whatever's easiest. And then I move my level to the end of my line, and I do the same thing with one end on my line already. I pivot my level back and forth until the bubble is centered and it reads level. Then I put another piece of wood to mark my line. So I now have a line from here to here, which is level, where the earth is level or close to it. So now what I do is start digging. It's very important to conserve, save, and use any existing topsoil. And topsoil is going to be darker in color and it's going to be on the top. So this may be grass, this may be bare dirt where you're working, but along this line we want to start cutting into the earth and moving the topsoil downhill. So we're cutting in along our level line, which is the top edge of the bed, and we're moving that soil downhill. So now we should have shoot for getting this level in the bottom as well, as much as you can. And then also spread your soil out so that this is relatively level on top here. That takes a little bit of work sometimes, especially when you still have weeds in a small model. So you just have to play with this, spread the dirt around until you're reading level pretty much all the way across the top. Still a little bit high over here. So my level is reading level all the way across the top here now. We're close to it. The bubble's in the center. We're close to it, no matter where I put it on here. So now if you can see, I'm going to try and get a shot of this. A better shot. I have this line across the top, which is level, I've dug in along that line and moved the earth downhill, where I've created a low wall, a low mound, which is also level. Now there's a couple different ways you can plant this. Typically, if you've taken all your good sod and your topsoil and you moved it down onto here, you can plant your plants in here. If you have really degraded soil, or your land is very degraded, very dehydrated, then you may want to plant your plants in here, in the ditch, which is actually what I did. I saved my topsoil and returned it to here, and left clay out here. So if that last part confuses you, forget I said it. Just remember to make a line on level, a line across the soil, which is level. You'll need a level to check that. And find that line where you like it as the top edge of your bed. And then dig down at that line, move the soil downhill, and also reconnect it at the ends. I'm not sure if you can see this or not, but I have a complete, this wall ties back into the natural slope at both ends, so that this ditch is closed. It's not open at one end. So this could hold water, this could hold silt and topsoil, and it will, given enough time. And in addition, we can add good things in behind this low-level wall. And this low-level wall forms one side of this cupped hand bowl shape, this nurturing shape that we're creating, and then the other side is created by the uphill natural slope. So this doesn't have to be circular, but as long as it's a cupped depression, this will capture the water, this will capture nutrients and good things in the earth and allow things to thrive. So this is a really simple example of how to shape the earth. Now, this can be done on any size, and when I did this up here with the back edge of my yard, I tied this level to this board, and in fact, this is what I used to make this bed, and you can see it still reads pretty level. It's not perfect, but it's pretty level. So these can be done at any size. I have several small ones up higher in the yard, and then down around the bottom edge I have it's actually several larger ones that tie together to enclose the entire back end of the yard, and they both tie into the slope you may have seen that leads up to the house and make the entire backyard into this cupped hand shape. So this is a real simple video, hopefully, that's easy to understand. Again, we're just making a line across the soil, which is level, for the top edge of our bed, the higher edge of our bed. Then we're digging in there and moving the soil downhill to make a low level mound. So that's also level. And then we're tying that back into the natural slope on either end to create this cupped hand depression. I do this on a small scale when I'm planting seeds or plants. I do this on a bigger scale when I'm making a new bed. And I did this on the biggest scale I could with my entire backyard. And every one of these is going to perform the same functions of improving the soil and capturing water. So whenever you're working with plants, whatever little piece of land you have any influence over, try to create this cupped hand shape. It can be subtle, it can be big, depending on how much area you're utilizing and how much water you need to capture, but start small, start experimenting with this, and start shaping the land so that it can come back to life and regenerate.